neighborhoods in the context in there, and he was open to the idea, and in fact encouraged it, that the facilities fit in the context and be a positive influence rather than just being imposed on them. And consequently, a new sort of attitude about the architecture of transit started to happen. This is back in the early 90s or so. We've been working with John and since then in there. As a matter of fact, that probably we may have been the first architectural firm to prime a project for Metro. And the other thing that he did, he demanded excellence. And I hope that you saw the looped PowerPoint presentation in there. A lot of projects, these transit projects, which are sort of utilitarian projects, have won design awards. That says a lot, you know, for the man that's behind the scenes on these things, and down to the maintenance facilities and park and rides and transit centers and things. So he instituted this new way of thinking. Then also under his tutelage, what happened was that a whole new set of design guidelines were developed for Metro. And these design guidelines were one of the most complete that I've ever seen. We worked with a lot of clients and a lot of agencies, and they are very thorough. And the underlying aspect of this thing is that it requires, it demands quality, longevity, and of the built environment to be there for a long period of time, and to be a contributing element to the environment, to the city, to the community. He also established this new thing that became a requirement for anybody that worked for Metro, and the acronym is CEPID, Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. What that is a passive way that through the design element to built into it's really about smart design, minimizing the opportunity for crime to happen in these public facilities. These facilities often function for 20 hours a day. They do shut down for 4 hours so they can do maintenance and cleaning them up. And you know, the opportunity for bad things to happen are great. But through this design process, which he actually, he and his staff initially invited consultants to take these courses in sessions and do exercises to learn about and be proficient and to become proficient or certified in crime prevention through environmental design. It's accepted, and it is now a requirement for anybody working for Metro to be trained in that, so they can do that. So that's a terrific contribution to the city. John has just been a friend. He's been an ally. He's been a collaborator. He's a terrific client. And a lot of people say, and it is true, you can't have good projects without a good client. And John has been a great client. Thank you.
Wow. Well, we tried to roast you. We invite you to come on up and share your thoughts and your sense of what has happened over the last 8 years.
I'll again say thank you to this esteemed panel that Blueprint Houston has assembled, and thank you to Blueprint Houston and your board. This is a true honor, and I'm really grateful to this event this evening. It means a lot to me. Means a lot to my family. I really do appreciate it. The underwriters that also help support this, thank you. I truly appreciate what's been done here this evening, and sort of the memories, reliving some of the memories has been really great. I want to thank everybody up here, Stephen, Carol, George, Bob, Don, Ray. Each of these individuals, as I know you all know, these people here, they've put their careers into making this city a better place, and I'm really grateful that you've done that, and that I've had a chance in a small way to work with each of you and work towards bettering Houston and this whole region. It's been terrific, and really appreciate the kind and really gracious comments that you've made this evening. I want to thank all of you for joining us here this evening. I'm honored by your presence. Again, this was unexpected. When Joe called me that Blueprint Houston wants to honor me, I said, Joe, first I'm taken back by it, but I'm truly honored by it. And I thank you all for being here as part of this evening. I'll be brief, but I want to mention a few things that sort of some of the history that's already been mentioned here this evening, and maybe I'll add a few other points, maybe something you're unaware of that I've been involved in. I want to thank my family, though, for being here also. To do the kind of job that we at Metro have been involved in, and many of you in the room here have been involved in improving this city, it's a hard job. It's a hard effort. It takes an awful lot of effort and energy. Thank you, Kathy, for being the supportive wife that she's been, and to my kids, Kelly here, and Rachel, and my newest son-in-law, John. I really appreciate the support I've had to be able to put in the efforts and time that's necessary to do what you're going to do if you're going to truly make an improvement in a city. They deserve it. They deserve it. Many of the panel here have mentioned a lot of the things that I've been involved in Metro, and you give me too much credit. As George mentioned, there's 3,400 people at Metro, and several of my colleagues from Metro are here, and I appreciate you being here. David, Louise, Paul, Pat Kearns retired, Paul retired, Paula Alexander retired, Edie Lowry retired, Mike Williams not retired. But they should all be up here with me to receive this honor. Who else did I miss? Did I miss any of our other Metro colleagues? Mickey, I'm sorry, Mickey. Mickey and I go way back to the early 80s. It's all of these people and many, many more that allow me to be recognized and be honored. And again, I appreciate just the chance to work with true professionals that have put in their careers and their life to make this city a better place. I wanted to relate to you a little story, and I apologize. Some of you have heard this little story, but I think it's very relevant to what's been discussed here tonight with Blueprint Houston. It was my first visit to Houston. I want to give you sort of my perspective and sort of observations on coming to the city. And it's already been mentioned, I was in Atlanta almost 9 years with the development of that rapid transit system, and reached a point where we had about 25 miles of that system in operation, and almost all of the 50 miles that's in existence today designed. So it was mentioned by Carol, our boss in Atlanta, Alan Keeper, had made the move to Houston. He wanted to get a few of his colleagues that had worked with him in Atlanta that carried through a successful project and put it into place and really changed the city in the process, wanted to get some help here in Houston. And so I decided to come down and talk to Alan and a few of my other colleagues that had already made the jump, made the move to Houston. So I made the trip down and had an appointment with some of the engineering staff, because although as an architect, I said, I want to come into, if I take this job, I want to have the chance to influence not just the architecture, I want to influence the engineering, I want to influence all aspects of the system. So I want to have really a responsibility for the design of the whole system. Give me that. So I came into Houston on an evening flight and stayed on a little hotel on the West Loop, not far from where we are here, about halfway between San Felipe and Westheimer. So envision, it doesn't exist now. That hotel doesn't exist now. I think it's kind of where the Intercontinental is, maybe one of the other buildings. There was a small sort of mid-level hotel. That's where I was put up for the evening. I had a meeting the next morning right up the West Loop in the CDC building, which some of you may remember that, still there. That's where the Metro engineers were. The Metro administrators were downtown, so I said, I'll get there too. But I did a little research before I came to Houston. I said, what is it that I want to see? I'm only going to be there 24 hours. Let me see as much as I can, see if I can get a grasp of what this city is like. So I arrive in the midst of a traffic jam. Made the ready to run from Intercontinental Airport, very lengthy trip to get over here to the West Loop, and got into the West Loop, and this was an early evening, so I decided I want to go out and walk around a little bit. And on my research, there were several architectural efforts that were of national renown within the Galleria Post Oak area. I wanted to see those. And I read about the Galleria. This was a well-regarded shopping facility. And I said, I have to check this out. So I leave my hotel room. I said, I'm going to go have dinner, do a little walking. That's what, as I like to do in any city I go to. Well, I go down to the desk clerk and I said, I want to go and see the Galleria. Can you sort of point me in the direction of it? So here I am on the West Loop, west side of the West Loop. And he says, about a half a mile. He said, do you have a car? I said, no, I don't have a car. Well, you can't get there. My reaction was, well, what do you mean I can't get there? I can't get to the Galleria. I can walk. I'm able-bodied. No, you can't get there. No. You don't have a car? I asked him, well, what about getting on the bus, on the transit system? No. There's no buses out here. There's only one. It's on Westheimer, but no, you're not going to do that either. You got to call a cab, or you got to get somebody else to drive you there. Well, being somewhat a little adventuresome, and I said, no, thank you very much for the information. I'll talk with you later. So I left the hotel, walked out the front door, walked down to the frontage road of the West Loop. Okay? Look for a sidewalk. This is before Delvin Dennis had a chance to improve the West Loop. Delvin, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And Gabe Johnson is here from TxDOT. My partners really appreciate it. Got down to the frontage road, and there's no sidewalks. There's not even a piece of grass because they put the hedges, the bushes, right up to the edge of the curb. So I said, well, no, I'm not. This is going to be tough because the traffic is really high, 60 miles an hour on the frontage road, and it was dead stopped up on the freeway, but the frontage road was good. I said, well, let me see. There's looks like an alley that leads to a parking garage next to the hotel. So I began to walk down this alley. What do I confront? Concrete block walls, chain link fences, dead ends to the alley. You couldn't penetrate the gauntlet. What I was trying to get to was Post Oak Boulevard or Westheimer, but you